the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, that team from Atlanta that went 2-6 in conference, 3-9 overall in 2019. When they started the season against Clemson, it looked like a team that was just trying to throw everything out of the hat that they had to try to figure out what might possibly stick on the wall, and nothing really stuck. It just seemed like they kind of reverted back to just the quarterback running every single play, and that didn't help them at all either. So Jeff Collins, as he continued on, we knew he was going to have a hard time because he was taking over Paul Johnson, who had the triple option scheme. So we knew he was going to have a hard time kind of getting his players in. But I'll tell you what, man, they're starting to recruit better. They're starting to get players that they can build his offensive scheme around. They just took a guy who was originally committed to Florida State in Jeff Sims. He's that big-time quarterback that you need. 6'3", 205 pounds. He's going to come in, more than likely won't play right now, but they're already kind of tabbed James Graham as the go-to quarterback this year. He's a 4-star guy, but not as tall. I think he's about 6'1". But I think that they're starting slowly to move in the right direction. I don't think that they'll be 3-9 again. Maybe. I don't know. I look at the games, and they have 4 road games before November. So they play Clemson, not going to be fun. They play Notre Dame, and then they got to go at Georgia at the end of the season, which is never fun. So, I just said that they may not, they probably will do better than 3 wins. But then again, I also have could be a 3-win team. So my notes. My notes are all over the place. But Trey Swilling is back. You remember Trey Swilling? He's the guy that got the turnover, and then they had the whiteboard where they wrote down his Instagram handle after he got the turnover. That was like that. It was like kind of like their turnover chain where they write the Instagram handle where you follow me because I turned over. Yeah. I got a turnover. I thought that was kind of cheesy, but. I don't think that this is going to be a year for Georgia Tech to get a bowl. I don't see them getting into a bowl game, but I definitely feel like that next year in 2021, this team is going to be much improved and have the players that Jeff Collins wants.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't think they're going to make a bowl this year. I don't know if it's going to be quite 3-9 bad. It may be. Honestly, because like you said, some of their road games are, kind of tough, or out of conference games, whatever. They play out of conference. They play Gardner-Webb. They play Central Florida. They play Notre Dame. They play UGA. That is a brutal schedule, okay, out of conference. And then home ACC games. They have Clemson on a Thursday night. They play Virginia. They play Duke and Miami. Road ACC games, UNC, VT, Pitt, and Syracuse. Okay, so they've got a pretty brutal schedule. I think Jeff Collins is headed in the right direction. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell that there's much improvement this year. It's going to be real interesting to see if they're able to kind of get a better record rather than 3-9. Goodness gracious, that was brutal last year. But they really dipped into the transfer market for some help over this offseason. They got Antonius Clayton at defensive end. He was a former Clemson target as well. Derek Allen at safety, Ryan Johnson on the OL, and Marquez Edward at wide receiver. You said that they got Jeff Sims at quarterback, and you're right there. And again, I don't think he's the starter. I think James Graham is kind of their starter. Unless he doesn't produce, they might bring in Sims. The only tackle they lose is Jared Southers, on the offensive line. So that's great. We always like to talk about the offensive line. Couple of transfers. One of them I mentioned earlier, Ryan Johnson. They also got Devin Cochran as well. So they could kind of come in and provide some help there. And at running back, they had Jordan Mason, who was third-team All-ACC last year, 172 rushes, 899 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Some good numbers there. And their playmakers at wide receiver, are they going to have any big-time playmakers? They didn't last year because they were still kind of running a half-and-half offense. It was kind of tough to tell what they were doing at times. But they bring back Amarion Brown, Adonicus Sanders, and Malachi Carter are kind of their 3 targets I think they're going to have to go to this year. To have David Curry returning at linebacker, he's a big-time linebacker for him. Was granted a 6-year of eligibility, and he was their leading tackler. Charlie Thomas is kind of their nickel guy, 9.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Okay, so he's going to have to step up and do a lot better. But I just don't know that you're going to see it. I don't know that you're going to see it in the win-loss column much this year. Maybe kind of a 4-8 kind of campaign. I'm not looking for too much more than that. If they go 5-7 or something like that, congratulations, it's progress. But I think it's going to take Jeff Collins another year or two.
Thanks for watching this video, and make sure to join our live show every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it.